swinging through.
Where are you?
Oh, okay. Stun. No Neon running after. mediKa's being spotted. It's not helping out a ton. They already knew the breach was around this position, and nothing's actually come from it. I thought it was going to be a much faster pace instead. Stun used out of Jade, still lingering around this area. Another to be fired through. No connection. And really, I think both teams will be disappointed walking away from that, in the sense that they don't get nearly the information or the control that either team wanted. That is even of an early battle. The only thing is, I think the utility used up on the attacking side was a little more valuable.
That's not ready.
Jade. Walkabout is being watched for, though.
Here.
speedowka able to give the advantage over, although hated as quickly traded things back. Xaline not able to capitalize on the drop she had on her opponent, and look at the rotation. So much information already for Acend. And they heard the tap of the orb. They've got the stun ready.
30 seconds left.
Looks like the tide might actually go in the direction of Alliance. Nobody really watching that cross.
Here.
Spike planted.
Wow, that's a little unfortunate. Having to fight their way back in. Amy spotted up as well. Alliance might be able to force the fight they want, but there's just too many bodies here, you would think. Oh, what? There's like some absolutely insane, like, falling shots and everything connecting.
More unfortunate on the side of Acend. The thing is, they had a perfect read on the rotation. And the only thing is, there was nobody really watching on that cross. Oh, it's not pretty! But somehow Xaline gets away with two. She TP's back into the open, but the shot's just not connected. A rifle retrieved for Amy at least. Something to play with going into the next round. Or into this round even. Well, rotation is coming through towards the B side, Mitch, but it's clear they already know it's in this direction.
I mean, this has just been rough. Start to finish, but the more damage would be fantastic. At least the kill to come through. There's no overextensions. You saw for a moment. Oh, Amy had a chance. Sonya being so close wasn't calculated.
Notice where they had two players with no guns, so it kind of just pads those stats up. Again, we're going to see some aggression coming out. It's kind of expected with this Neon comp. Actually, they're going to combine alongside the chamber and operator alongside the pace of Neon. Instead, though, watching Joliinaa already get all the way in towards the tower. There's so much space garnered that I almost wonder if this will have to just be a retake setup. With an orbital strike available, there's a chance Jade, though, has got the flank timing. I thought for a second Sonya was going to spin back around, but it's stunned up. I don't think there's any escape for Joliinaa. Amy's going to catch the rotator as well. The utility ults combo from Acend has been sublime.
Teleport's ready.
It's harder to get much closer to a perfect round. And, you know, an ultimate on its own can find so much value, but combining it up and just that extra little sprinkle of utility, and just look at the players' positions in heaven. You run away from a stun into an orbital strike. Your choices are to run back through that stun into the open and certainly die. Stand inside the ult and certainly die. On the other side, where you have players and utility and pretty much certainly die. And in the end,
the utility, because they knew exactly where everybody was, which I don't think is going to be a running trend going into the future rounds. Again, though, take deep control towards tree. It's being very patient in the early stages of this round. They know the Samsi is around this angle. The question is, can they isolate her? And the answer is yes.
Off your feet!
That cancels the first play. But being able to TP out,
your fear!
Second play needs to be cancelled. The smokes do that. Now they've got the space. The plant is so far away. Sonya using the stim beacon, and only then it's still going to be close. The utility going down, 30 HP. She's gone. She's dealt with completely. The smokes will fade soon. In fact, they already have. These players don't have a choice to go back, and even if they did, they'd be going into the waiting arms of Jade. The rotation quick as can be. But unfortunately, the kills go in favor of Alliance all too quickly. That stun, even perfect. The final player has no chance to trade. Instead, damage is the name of the game, and that came through from the Neon last time, the early main control. Even caught off guard. You know, speedowka's been there time and time again. 5-1. And a round coming up for Acend. Well, it certainly has its promise about it. There's rifles. There's, well, right, I hadn't spotted that. That's no, I just don't think to check what weapon has Breach got. But maybe I have to pay attention to that moving forward. I am intrigued. I love this already. I'm seeing the spams. I know. I've played this on attack. You're looking to spam up into heaven, looking to spam through smokes on a site, through the boxes. They've cleared the control. Now they're moving back. And Jade has been pushing this again and again. This time, though, a bit more passive after spotting. Oh, but that stun is on point. If they clear this corner, they are. It's tough to get anything done as Jade there. Luckily, the rotations have already come in. There are players close.
They've left the lurk, so they know they're not being pushed from behind, but mediKa here with this
30 seconds
thunder,
left.
and now Joliinaa maybe hearing some steps rotating the other way, and oh no! Samsi is whiffed! It's going to be the site almost taken for free. Joliinaa looking to try and get a little bit more aggressive and delayed. A nice shot at least coming through. Actually, that delayed enough for mediKa to go down to the aftershock. Even still, though, it's become very awkward. 10 seconds. If they can kill this player planting, they could win the round, but they're not going to be able to. And the flank! What? Oh, no.
Xaline's flank game just never goes right. The 2v2, the crossfire in play. Sonya causing the distraction.
One enemy remaining.
The shots didn't land. And a wonderful round from Hated the Most. Two duels that probably shouldn't have been won, but absolutely were. All right, we don't need to go there. That's a fresh wound.
You want to play? Let's play.
One day. Now, Zelf thinks I got ripped off in Turkey. No, it was in Covent Garden. Why was I there? I didn't know where I was. I was just walking around, and all of a sudden, I was paying a ridiculous amount of money for a belt. I got one belt that was expensive, but nice. And then I said, oh, I just got one extra. And then it was very expensive. I should have run away, but I didn't. That's all. Burned on the flash comes in. Oh, no. This is giving it away. I mean, the surprise factor, maybe, but mediKa wanted to help her teammate instead. Almost got herself killed. In fact, an orbital strike is used, and I mean, that alone makes this a disaster of an early round. You've lost a player and burned an orbital strike for essentially nothing.
They won the round, and then you still had Jade coming into this with a pistol. So I want to know how much they've actually invested into this, because clearly they have economic problems in this round, or maybe she was hoping to try and use her ult. Again, though, we're just seeing these rotations. Now, all the players are going to get tagged up.
30 seconds
Gives
left.
info that they're on this side of the map, but they're all running their way back through. speedowka looking to lead the charge once again, and she's just been phenomenal. Hated, gone. Well, a 5 versus 3. As okay, 2 even. Just
Spike
peeking it
planted.
1 by 1, trying to turn this round back around, and instead just making things worse.
Yeah, I don't think the clock was quite low enough to justify that kind of Rambo behavior. We're left in this spot where the remaining players' best interest is probably to save these weapons. But you can also see that with how strong this economy game has been for Alliance, they want to do some damage. They can't let them just run away with it all. Now, Xaline will go down, but I mean, you need to get everything on the way out, and even then, it only has the potential to be a headache for Alliance further down the line. For now, this team seems to be in a pretty good spot. Our Curry, who is about 2 meters away from a very good spot. Either one to see for any agent.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time, especially on the defense, you're going to revolve around having some set play aggressions, and thus far those haven't really been successful.
Enemy suppressed.
The aggression has been very well held by Alliance. They've been quite patient in the early stages of the round. They've been grouped up, making sure that there's a lot of opportunities for trades. And then they've just left Xaline, who's been pretty decent at just at least getting a kill somewhere along the line. Again, looking to execute in towards this A site, and a pretty decent chance. That's the lurk down.
They're gonna beat them back. A sprint out of Neon will actually get Jade up and into heaven before Alliance have even broken past the orb. It's a speedy retake of information, but well, accounted for now after you've seen the Haunt go up and get destroyed. Only 40 seconds left on the clock, not a ton of options. Take a look at what Breach has. Well, firstly, Breach has the spike.
Yeah.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, I was looking at this as that's the Rolling Thunder spot, but that doesn't make sense if she has the spike. Because now the rest of the players are taking a site with nothing to block, and now she has to try and cross back. That made absolutely no sense. A blip on the radar for Alliance, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that was just a mistake, but...
How long had it been? Just a strange one all around, and a mistake that, I mean, I'm not surprised to see a timeout called for either team afterwards. Definitely a moment you want to take a few breaths if you're Alliance and get yourself realigned.
I'm out of here.
Especially when it was a weaker purchase. A huge round for Acend to be able to steal. I'm not sure that they can actually play off the back of this, the flash sublime, but Samsi quick enough to get out of there.
Bring them down.
Would have been a huge weapon for them to take away, but played it safe. Now the site is going to go, seemingly go into the control of Alliance.
your
The
fear!
block coming through. It looks like retake being played for. And the Nightfall's going to make sure that nobody can really re-aggress over this. The thing is, they haven't capitalized off that. And speedowka needs a kill.
Yeah, they're checking her too. Look at that peek from Jade. Absolutely perfect.
One enemy
Answering
remaining.
the call from rounds before. Starting to look a whole lot better. Sonya not quite reaching that same clutch factor we saw in the previous series. This is a resurgence from Acend, now well and truly in the game. With 4 rounds on the board, and well, some statement rounds sprinkled throughout.
Alone to just try and be a bit more aggressive with the operator. And actually, they could have the perfect setup to deter any presence in the
Oh, they've not followed up on the space on either side. Those smokes, quite a test for this early control. The door swung open by that stun. But they're not going to find anything on the back of it. There's 4 players here. I mean, you got to go in and force the... Oh, are they going to Rolling Thunder it? Sprint Neon right after. It looks like it is perfect to start it out, and they've got the spike now. No need to continue forward. That Molly probably only serving the defenders, really, as they're just now waiting on the other side.
Oh, look, the same Molly. Oh no. This is a horrible position. Stunned back online as well for mediKa and utility. This round has been disgusting. Just catching every single player on the way back through, and Sonya hits the deck just like the rest of her team. What
Last
a
round
read and
in
what
the
a
half.
round from Acend.
At the halftime, the lead that Alliance built up now wavering.
Here we go.
And look at the confidence. Jade feeling 100% on her game. The rush through with the ult in hand. Sonya's gone. Being pursued. She'll escape just about. Oh! Jade's on the way! Finger guns in hand, and here we go!
Enemy remaining.
Oh! I love to see it! Hunting down the final player with precision,
Okay.
and we will end up 6-6. What a
Return, because they were in such a good spot for that round where they crossed without the spike.
Well, it is definitely a position that you can start to feel just starved out of it. I mean, the rounds have been tough with the way they've lost some, and now having Jade swing in with full confidence is, and we said earlier when she was 1-7 that it just didn't feel like she was having any success. They called a pause and they turned it around from that point. An impressive comeback. Set up well for this half. Now with the pistol. Aggression, that is a
Spike
brave
planted.
drop out of Curry and paid for in blood. Flash through, Jade aggressing. The trades, not great. The advantage no longer in their hands, and Alliance are fighting right back into it. One bullet in the headhunter. The shot has to be perfect, and it won't be. The numbers equalized, but the clock is on Ascend's side.
Yeah, the rest of the team too far away to trade. Okay, they've got the info, but need to clear out the remaining players. They know where Hated is, and they should have known where Samsi is, but it doesn't matter. She wins the duel anyway. And now Sonya, once again, left alone. She did it in the last pistol, but this time the time
One enemy
like
remaining.
far too
Got to
gone.
be kidding me.
Hated well. He's gonna try and knife her towards the end. It doesn't matter.
But that isn't the kills found. It's not, oh, the first 5 rounds, the scoreboard was looking good. But some of the positions, some of the lurk timings have been on point for Xaline. And then for a combination of missed shots sometimes, and it would seem to be just like a sixth sense almost from times. I mean, like Hated on that spin
Right here.
in towards the spawn. Xaline's been having a tough game, and we swap over to this side here. We need to see that change because the flanks didn't work out, but now defensive side, we're going to see a lot of heads-up duels. Something like this. The rush in. Quick by Jade has to clear the corner. And just like that, it falls apart. The lead.
What?
Only for a moment with a flawless Thrifty.
To this one, just on the hope that they could do a little bit of damage picking up the pistols. But yeah, that's absurd.
Well, it's all crushing. That soul's just been returned to Alliance's body. They've come back looking more alive than ever. Ascend 7-7. They won't count themselves out. They won't be down in the dumps, but that hurts losing a round like that. Now, the information game being played once again. Lots of players A, lots of noise made. They rotate back. They make the noise B. They rotate back. And Alliance are now on their way back to the A site because so too are Ascend. The double, triple, quadruple rotations back and forth we go. Like Newton's cradle. I don't know where we're going to end up, but it has to stop at some point, which is not the point of Newton's cradle, but still. Someone always touches it or the building falls down. I don't know.
Just absolute waffle.
No, I mean, Newton's cradle technically in a vacuum. It never fell, right? But it does. It's the world.
Looking a little bit more stable than Alliance when
player
it comes to
standing.
their battle versus pistols. Nice shot from mediKa though. Flash does some decent damage, but it will be Joliinaa to close her out with a nade. Alliance reclaim their lead. But this is where you kind of expect Ascend to rise back up to the plate. Of course, financially, Alliance should be in a great spot. Having all of those weapons retrieved for free just around the go.
The dominant lead up until now. That lead may once again become dominant. What? Xaline coming out of the scope. And then I think there was like a quick scope to take them down. Oh, wow. Still, it's only the 1-for-1. And that's not what Alliance wanted with Xaline down. This entire B site is basically wide open. You know, the smokes are blocking out the only remaining defender. The flank, well, it's been spotted.
Samsi. A pretty decent position, but they're all coming in from that exact spot. That flank in behind, Hated aggressive. And that will be speedowka down. Already being denied by that extra utility, even taking damage from the aftershock, doing a little bit of
One
chip.
enemy remaining.
While Samsi eventually comes back around with that triple kill. A good resurgence from Ascend, not letting them...
You're saying it's definitely not pretty. There's definitely some weaknesses, but at the end of the day, they can still put up a fight here and now. Go for a north side play. The ult and all the utility though confirms that this was this outside B, and they're just locked out of the site. Jade's already up and above. That timing hasn't been expected, but she won't quite catch them. They're gone down under, looking for control, and well, she has come behind them completely, catching them off guard. Still, Xaline chooses this round to step it up. 2 kills left on 30 HP, but a thorn in the side that has to now be accounted for as the rest of the team pushes the site. Hated is a little bit distracted, looking behind, but will secure the kill.
Last player standing.
Oh,
One enemy
Jess, she
remaining.
gets caught. It looked like it was a free kill, but because of that one haunt, Amy is not falling for the trickery. Knows the time's on her side, knows that it has to be stuck by Sonya at this stage, and is going to be able to clutch it out. A little bit close for comfort for Acend.
The lead to extend into Ascend's control. Unless something crazy happens, and that was almost it. Joliinaa with an idea, but gets shut down. Just too many players waiting on the other side.
Player standing.
Duels not going their way predictably. The Sheriffs, well, they're stripped of any command this time around. The player with the big gun. Only 3 bullets remain, and locked out by smokes. This one's not looking great.
10 rounds on the board now. Acend also keeping these last couple of rounds at least relatively clean, are also going to start building up some economy of their own. You can see Alliance are going to take this moment. Plenty of ults available for either side. Which are most important? He spotted the entirety of the enemy roster. Is actually going to try and get aggressive, and she's not going to get anything for it. Even with the majority stunned up, it's just not going to be too beneficial. And even the spam coming through from the overdrive, doing enough damage that they might even have to consider just falling back.
I think you're right. Another smoke has gone down. At this point, Xaline maybe even thinking of that rotation. That was the idea of Hated being here. I don't know how, but she still managed to get the kill. Even still, they've spotted it out. They've traded it out. And Alliance have given up the control that Acend have noticed. A site completely open for the taking. What a crushing way it would be to lose this. Ahead by so much. Your map coming up next. And that resurgence in the previous half. Pistol round win. It was looking bad. They bounced back in an incredible way, but since then it has been flat on this defensive side. And with these rifles in playtime, I'm not even sure that they should go for this. There's 4 players on the other side, rolling thunder in the works. If they don't get a kill in the next couple seconds with how low that clock is, they need to go and, yeah, just go and save the weapons.
Well, with the early battle not really going their way, a gamble of an ult or 2 thrown in as well, it's looking bleak. Like as said, over the last few rounds, there's not really been much to write home about this ult. Or maybe even use that orbital strike a bit more proactively. But now, though, there's actually a lot of pressure being put across the entirety of the map. Sonya pushing all the way deep into A, and just look how patient Acend are being. Even though both sides of the map have been pushed, they're just patiently waiting.
They found my trap.
Well, Alliance have got everything towards the north side. And they're rotating to A heavy. Meeting the attackers here. Timing could be terrible. Joliinaa still having that showstopper, but it catches nothing. Jade leading the charge, created enough space. Ah, but then she moved up into the nade. Oh, it was coming her way, but in fact it was up above. Oh, what a disaster. Rolling thunder flashed through. Space taken. No one to follow up on just yet. Sonya will be caught. At least the advantage to play with. And here's the thing.
Down A.
Okay, I thought that was going to be a post plan, but it's come in right here and now.
I have the spike.
30 seconds left.
back in and make sure they get that plant down. Another kill coming through, hated down, and Samsi stuck within the site. They know exactly where she is. Still manages to take one with her. Amy up close. Here's the reload and looks to try and react on it, but Joliinaa has her teammate covered. It will be a 9th on the board for Alliance. Bit of a shaky round at times, and maybe questioning whether or not they actually bring the operator into this next round. They will.
For Acend, they also committed a decent amount. I mean, they even used an orbital strike as if it was a smoke at one point, because they were out of smokes, I guess, just committing everything to it, losing out on the round, and now able to reset at least a bit. The utility early gets them completely out on A. I like the smokes up top. They're waiting for someone to drop out, waiting for a mistake to be made, and when that doesn't happen, the plant comes through.
Not a lot to retake with. No ults online, so I don't think this was the initial plan. Gonna be able to clear this close angle, just throwing so much utility into it. The anti-flash was played, and somehow, I was gonna say Jade survived. Far longer than maybe she should have done. Samsi, she was guarding her teammate. The shot whiffed, but she switches back. An insane couple of shots from her, and even now, mediKa trying to crash her through this smoke is going to garner nothing. 12 rounds now for Acend.
One, a missed shot out of Samsi, the swap to the headhunter, and still the 3 body shots to finish the player off. There's a little aggression, doubling up Joliinaa, trying to provide a bit of support, and even with a kill, as well. So much more needed. They just keep on coming. 3 kills for Joliinaa. Damage done, and maybe the round that Alliance needed to stay alive comes on the back of a sheriff.
You can go the way round.
Oh my.
That's the thing. A decent opportunity for her to get into an afterplan. Of course, this does mean a lot of upgrades in terms of weaponry. That was one of the main issues was for this Alliance side. Need a pretty big mistake for them to let this one slip.
Oh, good position. That's one tagged up heavy. One dead.
Enemy
and
remaining.
up close, the other has already been eliminated. A sliver of health left on Curry. This fight is everything. It's just about 5 health to 145. Not enough to kill. They will hold on at least one more round on the Alliance side.
Basically keeping her team in it at this stage. Still, the purchase isn't going to be great for them, and I think again the pace is just going to be picked up by Acend, looking for a little bit of early control in towards tree, but not going to find too much.
They're watching and waiting for this further aggression out of Alliance. I mean, leaving north side completely open and then just sitting B main. It's an interesting take because as soon as they start to show this control, you expect these A main players to move forward. Now they've gotten a kill already. Samsi.
Enemy suppressed.
Did Samsi get caught by that afterwards, or was that? I think that was a teammate, right? Either way, they're retaking this control, and you can see Alliance have just given it up instantly.
$50 seconds left. Hated lurking on one side, the rest of the team looking to try and build on the other. It doesn't look like it's going to be just a patient hold, though, from the defense. Already looking for that little bit of extra information. Timing on this peak could be everything. Although the trap's going to give it away. Even still, mediKa wins the fight. And well, they're ready for Xaline's swing. The advantage quickly diminished to a disadvantage in this retake. And wow, they don't have much to play back in with either.
There takes them!
Well, everything's going to be committed from Alliance, but not in the right spot. Samsi left unstunned. Showstopper yet to find a target. mediKa located, but even with the trade afterwards, it's not enough. Sonya has to cross this operator. A second player in position as well, and the tour de force is what closes this one out. 13 to 10 in the end. And Acend are taking the map to start this one out.